In a few moments, the weather prospects. First, a public information film about Framlingham Castle.
In days gone by, the River Orr ran full and wide to Framlingham. Stone came by water to build a castle for the Earl of Norfolk in the reign of Henry I of England. Ditches were dug to surround the massive walls of the outer court. The second fortified enclosure, the lower court, was once protected by an artificial lake. Curtain walls defended the inner court. The earls and their countesses were powerful subjects. They sometimes threatened the safety of the throne. Henry II dismantled Framlingham's defenses, but on his death, the second earl rebuilt them more strongly. In the year 1215, King John took the castle by force of arms. Later kings thought to ensure against rebellion. A new line of Norfolks was created, but again the earls proved too powerful. Framlingham was forfeited to the crown. The Norfolk crest remained through many changes of rebellious ownership. The last threat to the throne was in 1553. At Framlingham, Mary Tudor was announced Queen of England. Her supporters encamped outside the walls. The castle was put under a governor, and safe at last from rebellion and vaulting ambition, became part of the book of history that we in the present day can see for ourselves.
Wimbledon Grandstand begins in just over 2 minutes. First on BBC1, Jack Scott with the weekend weather prospects.
Good afternoon too. They're the same look to the weather chart. We've still got those northerly winds, cold northerly winds over the country. I think this low pressure's pulled away just a little bit overnight, taking the rather more persistent rain from southeastern parts with it. There are not so many showers in the northerly air either, because there's a clearer band of air came in during the night. This warm front here looks as though it'll topple over to bring some rather thicker cloud into northwestern parts, but not until tomorrow morning, I think. Satellite picture shows that clearer air that came in during the night, a tongue of air that came down from the north there. Gave many places a sunny start. It has clouded up now, though. This was at about 8 o'clock this morning. So this afternoon, it looks a fairly cloudy picture right through the country. Not many showers about, but if we look at today's chart, most of the showers down the eastern side of the country there. A little bit of sunshine in between, but on the whole, a fairly cloudy scene right down the eastern side. Further inland, away from that east coast, just 1 or 2 showers, many places getting away with a dry afternoon, but far more cloud than there was this sunny morning, and I don't think there's going to be a great deal of sunshine in the afternoon. Little fleeting glimpses of the sun. Northwestern Scotland, a fair bit of sunshine. Northern Ireland, where there were 1 or 2 showers too this morning, looks like drying up largely in the afternoon. And that's the area where we'll get most sunshine, and possibly parts of North Wales as well. But for the rest of Wales and southwest England, some showers about in those areas, and a little bit of sunny weather now and again in between. Everywhere, those cold northerly winds still blowing, the temperatures no higher than they were yesterday. The wind not quite as keen, not quite as strong today as it's been. And tonight, well, still showers left near the east coast, but in other areas I think it'll go dry. It is going to be a colder night, mind you, because it's not so windy as other nights, so perhaps a slight ground frost in some of these central areas during the night. And tomorrow, well, very little changed, I think, from what it was today. That's it then. See you later on.
And now on BBC1, Wimbledon Grandstand.
Good afternoon on this first Saturday of Wimbledon, and the traditional scenes outside the All England Club here today before the gates opened at noon. Just look at these queues. They've been like this all week, and at times the attendances have very nearly reached record proportions. And of course some of the people at the front of this queue have been queuing here all night. They're our old friends, the John McEnroe fan club, still waiting for their man to win. I see they're down to 2 now. Even the dogs deserted them. Well, the gates opened at noon, and at first it was a fairly orderly entrance, but 1 or 2 people, of course, came running through, anxious to get places on the centre court. Only a cherished few places there to be had by the general public. Well, I'm standing on this beautiful new players' balcony, which is all part of the refurbished #1 court. And as I look around, I can see quite a few clouds, but we've had those all morning. We're promised long, dry periods, and in fact, the wind has been taking the clouds over all morning. We've had no rain, and what I can say for sure is that the temperature here today is some 10 degrees up on what it was yesterday. Well, those people we saw running through the gates were obviously making sure they had a good vantage point from which to watch Britain's Anne Hobbs, who yesterday beat Mary Lou Piatek of the United States on an outside court to make the last 16 of the latest championship for the first time. Well, today she's been accorded the honour of opening play on the centre court against the #2 seed, Hannah Mandlikova. Now we can check on our order of play for the centre court today, and the Hobbs-Mandlikova match leads the way. Then we have a marvellous men's singles match in the 4th round between Bjorn Borg of Sweden, defending champion, of course, against Vitas Gerulaitis, the #16 seed from the States. And we all remember the tremendous semi-final they had here in 1977, which people still talk about here as one of the classic games of all time. And then a men's doubles, Clerc and Nastasi against the #8 seeds, Gottfried and Ramirez. An unfinished men's doubles from last night, Newcomb and Roach against Frawley and Lewis, with Frawley and Lewis leading that one by 2-1. And finally, a mixed doubles. On #1 court, first match on there, the #1 ladies seed, Chris Lloyd of the States, champion here twice, of course, plays the astonishing 18-year-old Swiss girl, Claudia Pascal, who's already put out the #11 seed, Diane Fromholtz, and before that put out the 14-year-old Kathy Rinaldi. And then a tremendous men's match, Stan Smith of the United States, champion here 9 years ago, unseeded this year, playing the #2 seed, John McEnroe. A ladies doubles, Leslie Allen teaming up with Betsy Nagelson, who resumes rivalry with Sue Barker, having beaten her in the singles yesterday. Miss Barker and Anne Kayamura are the #4 seeds in the ladies doubles. And finally a men's doubles, the Amritraj brothers from India against the #6 seeds, Reeson and Stewart. And our coverage of tennis begins here at Wimbledon at about 5 minutes to 2. Now before that we have athletics and rugby union, and at about 3:05 we go to the Curragh for Ireland's richest race, the Sweeps Derby, worth £117,000 to the winner. And that winner should be Shergar, one of the hottest